Good afternoon. Welcome to the First Service Credit Union webinar. My name is Ernest Orieh. I'm the Community Development Manager here. We are coming to you with this webinar today because we miss you guys, okay? We want to continue to give you wonderful information right from the comfort of your home, your office, wherever you might be. Today, we're going to be talking about the ins and outs of negotiating a great deal on a new vehicle. Joining me in this wonderful conversation is going to be if you've been to our Northwest branch, you've worked with this guy. He is a legend here at First Service Credit Union. His service to the credit union and to his members is you just can't. It's impeccable. Okay, so joining me is Raoul Cortes, our branch manager from the Northwest branch. Raoul, how you doing, brother?
Hey, pretty good, Ernest. Thanks a lot.
All right, welcome.
Guys, actually, my name is Raoul Cortes, like Ernest said, and I've been doing this for about 25 years, and actually, I'll give another 25 years. I've been with the credit union for about since 2013. It's an amazing job what I do. It's amazing to actually see the outcome of the ending of actually negotiating the ins and outs of buying your vehicle.
Wonderful.
Awesome. I want to actually take a poll, and what I want to do is I'm going to ask a question, okay, to the actual audience. I'm going to ask, when you wake up or actually the next day, you say, you know what, I want to buy a car. And actually, what should I do? I'm going to ask, your choices are going to be, you let me know which they're going to be. The choices are, should I go to the dealership first? Should I go visit the credit union first? Or should I actually do research first? So again, the choices are the dealership first, the credit union first, or do some research. I'm going to give you about 5 seconds.
So we're starting out the gate with the pop quiz, okay? We're just gonna go straight to the homework, okay? We'll start out the gate. So Raul's giving you something to think about, and please interact with us in the chat. Y'all already doing that. Thank you so much. So what should you do first when you're ready to purchase a vehicle? Should you go to the dealership, the credit union, or do your research? Go ahead and put your answers in the chat, and then we're gonna tell you what the right answer is, and then we're gonna jump into the conversation. Also, why are we coming to you with this information? Well, between now and the end of the year, the most volume of deals are done at the dealership, right? So we want to empower you with this information now before you make that decision, because we know that a gift or two between now and Christmas is probably going to be a car. So we want to make sure you get a great deal and that we're able to help you with that purchase. All right. So how much longer are we going to give them on that?
We'll give another 2 seconds.
Another 2 seconds. So,
all righty.
3, 2, 1. There you go.
Go for it.
All right.
Again, the answer to the question is you're going to visit your credit union. And why I say that is you want to visit your credit union because the fact that you want to actually bring your finances and see exactly and get pre-approved in regards to I'm going to be trading the vehicle. You know, you want to look at the actual overview of your finances, see exactly what you actually are looking at your challenges. So of course, our job is to make sure that, of course, that we look at overall your finances, see what you're actually your liabilities and see your income and overall exactly your trade-in and et cetera overall before you even go to your dealership there too. In regards to that is seeing how much you can afford. Of course, the actual, the statistics, the study is monthly. What is my monthly budget for a car? I'm gonna give an example. It's always been said, 10% of your monthly take-home check. 10% of your monthly take-home check, that is your monthly car payment there. So give or take about, say, if you bring in home $4,000, you're looking around $400. We also look at, of course, what you're looking at as well. You know, your insurance. We want to actually make sure, of course, that can I actually afford the $400 plus my insurance plus the maintenance for the actual year itself. Of course, cars don't get fixed for free. You got to get the oil change, the tire, overall look at everything as well.
Tire.
You know, is the loan itself, the payment, am I comfortable there? Should I actually wait just a few months, or, you know, should I actually pay off a few credit cards? We look at overall everything just to make sure that maybe actually that time is not the best time to buy a car, but maybe we can wait another month or two, you know, so we look at overall the big picture.
Wonderful. And also feel free to interact with us here in the chat. Go ahead and give us a hello. Give us a high five in the chat if you like to. But we are going to be saying some things that may cause you to maybe want to ask a question. Feel free to ask our questions. We have chat moderators. They're going to be taking your questions. And at the end of this presentation, we have allotted some time to answer your questions. And if we can't get to them, definitely we're going to leave our contact information as well. Okay, go ahead, Raoul.
Going back to what we were saying as well too, is designed to buy the vehicle itself. And sometimes, like I said earlier, is, when we look at it, we overlook at it, of course, is we don't want to put you into a situation where down the road you're going to say, hey, Raoul, actually, I need to downsize my vehicle, actually, what it is, my monthly payment. So we look at overall, statistically, of course, hey, in the future, job-wise, of course, we don't know exactly where our jobs are looking at in the future there too. My payments. I don't want you to come back and say, you know what, I need to downsize this because the fact that the payment was too high. So we want to make sure, of course, you're comfortable. And by saying, when I said it earlier, was the next one is actually is like I said, 10% of your actually take home check. People actually squeeze in about 15%. Be real careful. Like I said, again, we don't know 2020 what's going to look like for a lot of, for our jobs. So again, we want to make sure, let's work on the low end around 10% of your monthly take home check.
So keep it conservative.
Conservative, exactly. Yeah. Securing a pre-approval loan, your offer. So again, you want to make sure you're comfortable, you like the loan, understand the actual loan itself, overall, your term, the loan amount, and of course, the max you're going to be looking at, as well as the actual rate itself. I've seen situations where, the payment is a little bit high and the rate itself, what I said earlier is, we can help you maybe get you a better score by paying off 1 or 2 credit cards. 2 months later, you actually have a better score and a lower payment. So again, sometimes at that moment, it may not be the actual best moment to buy a car. It could be next month or following month. Again, we look at overall your finance to make sure, of course, you're comfortable. Obtain a pre-approval check itself. Guys, once we actually get you approved, you can actually have a check just like this. It's just actually a pre-approval simple check. You're comfortable at $25,000 for 60 days. Again, this check is good for 60 days. It comes inside the envelope itself, just like this. Easy and simple. Again, we don't want you to go to the dealership and actually come back with this.
Uh-oh.
With this long yellow sheet,
wow, help
all
me.
the numbers, asking you need help. You can actually come with this at the credit with this. The long sheet from dealership with multiple papers behind it. Not understanding all the numbers, or the credit union, the closing document. Easy and simple. Again, like I said, I've had this in my possession and helped them, like I said, but it took weeks.
All right.
Again, making sure the actual dealership accepts the actual check. During COVID-19, probably 1% of dealerships don't accept the actual check itself. No worries. We can actually communicate with the dealership and figure out a way we can actually get the deal done. If the dealership is actually giving us a hard time, that's okay. We can actually, we can say, you know what, I appreciate it. There's many other dealerships that will actually accept the check itself. Considering actually your finance or the credit, and why I say that, of course, it's easy and simple. It's hassle-free. You come to us, get educated, and get it all done, and you leave understanding at least your finance. The fact that if you go to the actual dealership and you're gonna come back asking for help with these long sheets as well as all the paperwork, and guess what? When your credit, it's only once at the credit union. The dealership's gonna pull it multiple times. You're gonna actually have all these inquiries there for 2 years. They're gonna take 2 years to fall off for your score to go right back up what you've actually earned very hard for your score to be there.
So come to the dealership first. In the process of us getting you approved for the vehicle that you want to purchase, you're only looking at one inquiry, right?
Exactly.
And versus going to the dealership first and having them run you through their financial institution that they work with, which you're possibly looking at multiple inquiries.
Exactly.
So I've seen one or multiple.
I've seen it multiple times. I've seen up to 10 times inquiries. And again, like I said, that's going to drop your score easily, 10, 15 points. Again, it's going to take you a long time to get your points back. And this is a different situation on credit rating. In regards to your trade, earlier I said, of course, we're looking at your finances of your trade. I'm going to ask a question, of course, is there going to be any trade involved in your transaction? And the reason I ask is I want to make sure, of course, you get the actual best value for your trade. We're going to research it through a report called Manheim. It's the same company the dealerships use. There's no other difference. As well as I want to direct you to multiple other dealerships do appraisals. CarMax takes all the direct. There's a lot of ways you can get your actual value of your vehicle. But you'll actually have your appraisal nice in your folder as well in the Manheim report itself here. So we're gonna do the research there. And in regards to all the value of it, you can actually have it here to make sure, of course, you're comfortable and you understand the value of your trade in as well.
And what do they need for us to run that man-iron report for them? What typically information do they need to provide to you?
Just the
Raoul?
VIN number and the actual the mouse.
VIN number
and the
and
condition. You're gonna know the condition. So actually, I'll run the VIN number and the mouse, and of course, we'll run it through a report called the Mannheim, and actually, you'll have a condition report printed out for your records. You know exactly. So, give an example. I'll give you a report that shows 10,000. Negotiate with them. Just make sure, of course, don't lower them down to say around 9,000 or so, because you get a little room. They got to make a little bit of money as well too.
Now, I know we're going to touch on this later on, Raoul, but when you go to the dealership, do you tell them you have a trade?
No.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. That's a really good point there, Ernest. That's a really good point. Again, just like anything else too, is remember, you're going to sell anything to somebody. What are you going to do? You're going to want to make sure you keep it clean. Just like your home, prepare it, have it ready on a ready show. So again, this is your unit. You want to make sure it's cleaned up, detailed, and presentable.
Step 2.
Perfect. Okay, so remember step 1 actually is, so now you're already approved. You got your envelope, you got your check. You know exactly what you're approved for, which is actually, headless. Of course, you're good to go, ready? So now it's time to actually do some homework. Remember, just in college, remember we're doing your projects, professor give you an assignment to do. Again, you have to do your research online or actually on Google or at the library, same thing as it was here. Actually, so it's actually, again, so being patient, don't be an impulse buyer. Guys, being an impulse buyer is gonna get you into a jam, again, with this right here.
Help me.
Help you. Of course, you're gonna come back to us, say you need help, and we can help you, of course, but we're trying to actually prevent this, okay? Remember, you actually have the check itself, and it's good for 60 days. Be patient. Like I said, no rush at all. Just being patient overall. Research. Remember, research is for free. And I did a study in regards to why research and actually is what's the advantage of it. Number one, there's wealth of information. You get all the information on a unit, the dealership, and there's nobody behind you, pushing you, rushing you. It's just wealth information. That's number one. Number two, it's for free. It doesn't cost you at all. And last and most important is the actual consumer reviews. It's like anything else. If you're gonna go to a restaurant, you're gonna go somewhere, you're gonna look at the consumer reviews. Just like us, we get reviews on ourselves and we get the feedback, which actually helps us overall on the unit as well as business and dealership. There's actually a bunch of links here as well in regards to, I researched some of these links. These are really, really good links here. There's another one called actually cardrive.com. You can go in there, put in exactly, you're looking for no more than 25. You already know the unit you're looking for. Put the actual, the mile radius and stuff like that. Again, you're gonna find a unit. Why I say that is, of course, sometimes you actually have to do a little research outside of the actual market. And why I said that is the fact that I had a member, of course, he was looking for a vehicle through these links, and he was looking in the Houston market, and he just pushed himself just a little bit farther away. I told him, you know what, just go a little bit more miles. The same truck, the same year, same options, of course, different stock number, different VIN number. Within about 300 miles difference, he saved him $4,000. Again, just do your research, just extend yourself a little bit more miles, and you'll find something. Hey, guess what? He got there in 3 hours, bought a truck $4,000 cheaper. Hey, it was a nice little free family road trip. Consider the year-end difference. Of course, there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, production, of course, is low. We know, of course, during the COVID-19, of course, the line itself, the production line is not producing because actually there's too many 2020s on the lot itself. And by saying that, of course, actually I emailed 3 of my friendly colleagues, general managers, and this is what they respond. The dealership itself, they work on monthly, quarterly, and annual goals. So by saying that, of course, is now we're actually, what are we at? We're at towards the end of the year. Mm-hmm. We're actually towards the end of the quarter and the actual month itself. So this time they actually get the ball rolling. So they're actually pushing cars fast. Number two, actually another general manager said, he said, because the COVID-19 production is low. So again, so what they're trying to do with these 2020s, they're going to be adding on more additional incentives, more cash backs for y'all. So by seeing that, you're going to start seeing some double digits cash back rebates there, and then, which is really good. When you start seeing double digits between 10 and 15,000, that's a good thing there. The last one is of course, we know we are actually, everywhere we work at, of course, there's bonuses, okay, involved. And so remember, the way the dealership works is the month of October, you get your bonus check for November, December. So remember, we're coming to December. So the month of December is, they got to get ready for the Christmas shopping, as well as their family vacations, the Christmas vacation. So whatever they do in November, they'll get their bonus check and pay out in December. So they're going to actually work harder and faster for you, definitely.
So two things that you said in that last piece, Raoul, that I took from. Did you guys hear how he modestly said, I emailed some of my friends, general managers at the dealerships, regular people like me and you, we email the sales agents, but the type of person that we have in Raoul, who's great at what he does at First Service Credit Union, he has direct contacts to the general manager. So when you're working with Raoul Cortes, understand that if he can't get the deal done with that sales rep that you're working with, he's probably gonna email the general manager at that dealership. But also you mentioned, Raoul, that typically dealerships right now have a large inventory of 2020 still on their lot, that they have roughly 2 months to move as much of them as possible, which means there's a great deal for you at the dealership, possibly in the month of November, right? And we're here to make sure you get an even better deal by equipping you with this information that you're getting in this webinar today.
That is correct.
That's awesome.
Definitely. That's awesome. Again, guys, one actually emailed as well too. He did say as well as, hey, the less he has to report to you, Uncle Sam. So it's better for him. So he's trying to get him off the lot as soon as possible. That's a good point there. Yeah. One thing also too is actually, guys, remember, don't always think about new. You don't actually have to think about new. Used. The reason why I say used cars is you have to understand, we're actually all under the same unprecedented pandemic COVID-19 situation crisis. There's a lot of companies that are doing actually furloughs, laying offs. Give example, Gap just made an announcement. Banana Republic, they're going to be closing around 300 plus stores. United Airlines, my colleagues here were having a conversation, Delta, American Airlines, Spirit, Wells Fargo, about 30,000 plus employees will be losing their jobs. Guess what? They don't have cars. What are they going to do with their cars? They're going to be probably actually getting rid of them. So actually what actually happens, sad to say, they're probably repoed, and guess what repos go to? They go to the auctions. And guess what the auctions, who handles the auctions? These franchise dealerships are hungry. They actually attack the dealerships and they buy them and they take them. And so, I mean, you're going to get a good deal off them off the bat. So you'll actually have some really good low miles, good price on used cars. Again, don't think about new all the time. Used cars is a good way as well.
And then also dealerships like Hertz and Enterprise, as we know, not too many people are traveling right now, so not too many people are renting cars. And another way that rental car companies generate revenue is by selling those cars once the mileage is at a certain place. So on top of going to your regular franchise dealerships, you know, the Hertz dealerships, the Enterprise dealerships, they have cars as well that will be selling for much lower than they normally would be due to the fact that they're trying to generate some revenue as well, right?
That's a good point there too. Of course, Hertz has been all over the news. They actually filed bankruptcy. They got to get rid of all their inventory. You get other assets, of course. I've seen cars go literally 20-25% below the actual book out value there too. So you'll find some really good deals to the Hertz as well.
Nice.
Definitely.
Step three.
So you got to prove. You already know what you actually have your approval check there. You actually your trade in, you know, the value is. You've done your research. So now it is time to visit the dealership. Okay. All righty. So again, shop around. This is actually my most important number, 5. Visiting 5 dealerships. And why I say 5 is it's like anything else there too. You're not going to actually hire the first person to do your floor, right? No, you can actually get multiple contractors, multiple bids, make sure who gives you the best quality, best deal overall, and the best price. So that's why I say visiting 5 dealerships as well.
And this shopping around is made a little bit easier in the environment that we live in, being that everything is curbside. Shopping around is not like how it was done last year, right? You don't have to necessarily drive to 5 dealerships. You could possibly go on the website of those 5 dealerships if you know the vehicle that you're looking for, right?
That's a really good point there too. So you can actually literally, you can just go online, Of course, they're going to chat. Just chat with them, see the vehicle you're looking for, ask me questions on the lot itself. And like Ernest said, sometimes these vehicles can be brought to you at your home or at your job, and you can actually look and test drive yourself. Exactly. The actual web links themselves is that actually what I attach here. These are some really good, nice research links there for vehicles. Again, what I said earlier too is you don't want to actually just shop within the actual 5-10 mile radius. Sometimes you can expand yourself just a little bit further to communicate and find the deal yourself. So like I said, there's a good website there. Now, you've already collected 5 business cards and you've already actually visited or you've talked to 5 dealerships. Now it's time to actually send a simple little email template that I actually have here. If you like to, I can send it to you. Real short and simple. You're going to include the vehicle, the actual copy of or request for a copy of the invoice, the actual or the window sticker, and of course, and you're going to ask them. You're going to CC all the actual salespeople, and you're going to tell them, now actually, whoever gives me the best deal, I'm ready to rock and roll. I got a check in my hand. It's like cash. So I'll see you immediately to buy the vehicle, whoever gives you the best deal too. So again, like I said, email 5 of them and let them battle it. Definitely. Again, of course, you have the upper hand, so you're done.
And that email template, Raoul can also make that available to you. Our contact information, we're going to share that with you all. It'll be in the chat as well, our email addresses. And you can email Raoul and he can share that template with you as well. And I think we also mentioned that when you email the dealership or the sales rep, however, it's okay to also provide that sales rep with your loan advisor or the branch manager's contact information. That way, as they're sending you the purchase order, they can also be sending it to your loan advisor, right?
That is correct there too. And actually, just remember also too, an email template, it tells you the CSI survey. Mention that when you say that, say, you know what, whoever actually gives me the best deal, when I close a deal, I will give them a best CSI survey. Remember that. The actual manufacturers, they depend on those surveys there too. That's why it's important to them. You know what, give me a good rating, a good scoring, because of the fact that the higher the score, the more the rating, the manufacturers say, you know what, they're doing something good at the dealership. Let's send them actually more, more demand, more units to sell. And actually overall, it gives them, it makes them look good actually for the dealership to actually sell vehicles.
Pro tip.
Do not give your phone number at all. Please, if you give your phone number, your phone will be blowing up 24/7. Email is the best communication. When you're actually on that lot there, when you visit them, of course, they're going to ask for your phone number. Just say, no thanks, I will communicate you when actually I'm ready. You already actually have the business card. You got their email. Again, there's no phone number at all. Definitely.
Wonderful. So email, and the great thing about the email too, also it creates a paper trail, right?
Exactly. So that's a really good point. He said that paper trail. The fact that once you make the deal, you got to print it out. You're good to go. You got a paper trail there too. Hey, you can't change your word. You're there. You have it there. Definitely. The time in the actual visit of the dealership, the best time, of course, actually, you don't want to actually go on a weekend. They're busy. Your salesperson is busy during the week. So the best time is actually early in the morning or late at night. Why you're going to ask me why early in the morning? Well, why early in the morning is catch them sleepwalking. They just woke up. They haven't had their coffee. Or late at night, well, you're going to ask me why late at night? They're tired. They've been on their feet. These guys work 12 hours a day. So they're tired. They want to go home. So they just want to make, communication as simple as possible at the 2 times 0. Test drive the vehicle. It's important to test drive your vehicle. Why? Because the fact that you got the salesperson in the actual passenger seat, you're driving it. Ask all the questions you want. So sometimes you can see, of course, are they knowledgeable of the unit itself? Because sometimes you could be actually have the upper hand on buying the deal. Another way actually is another reason is the actual the unit itself is the fact that you get to know the actual new unit itself, because you may be driving the vehicle itself that actually has way too many options that you don't even need or even want. So the fact that you may say, well, hey, what's the next one below this one? So it may save you about the next one below that one, maybe 10,000 cheaper. But the next one you can say, you know what? But I like leather seats and I like the navigation. What would it cost me? Okay, sure, additional $3,000. So this $40,000 truck, I go to $30,000 and overall pay 33. So I just save myself $7,000 for things that I don't even want. That's why you're test driving it. You need to know more about your unit.
Wonderful. Pro tip.
Again, don't negotiate there. Walk away. Say thank you. Thanks for letting me test drive the vehicle, and I will communicate you later.
All right. And guys, these pro tips are very, very important. Of course, they're coming from the pro, Raoul, as well. So make sure if you're taking notes, make sure you get these pro tips down. But like I said, we're going to provide our contact information. Anything that you missed, please feel free to put it in the chat. We'll touch on it again during the Q&A session as well. Okay, thank you.
The vehicle history report, guys, always, it's very important to get the history report on that vehicle. In fact, you want to know exactly what you're getting yourself into or buying, because this is actually a long-term investment. Being actually the second one, because of course the first one is your mortgage. Knowing, of course, hey, what am I actually going to be buying? Is it going to be worth it, or actually should I be looking somewhere else? Definitely. And if you're having a hard time looking at the report itself, reach out to us. We can actually help you.
Pro tip.
Exactly. Now, the reason the report itself, the reason why I say that, in fact, that I had a situation, we had a member who was buying a truck. And actually, in regards to that, we found, of course, just say a damage report. Now, doing that, of course, remember that this is going to be your unit. You're going to actually own it. You don't want to sell it in the next 2-3 years, or maybe you're going to pay it off, and then you want to resell it, pay it off. But remember, the actual next time you actually have to sell this vehicle, you're going to actually have, hey, hold on, a question. There's been some damage on there. Statistically, there's been saying, of course, the fact that if a vehicle actually, say, is selling for $10,000 and it actually has damage report, you're going to go back and say, hey, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. I'll give you $7,000. I found some damage on it. It's just like the show gas monkey. You know, hey, you know what? He does the same thing. It's really good. You know what? It's too much. You're asking too much. I'll give you $7 if you like. Got cash on the hand. Cash on the hand. Remember that. You got the check. It's good for 60 days. Same thing there, too. Hey, if you want to, I'll give you $7,000 if you like. Oh, you know what? I'll give you $9. Nah, that's okay. I'll give you $7,500. Work halfway. Meet halfway point there. So, you know, guess what? That little Carfax report saves you about, say, 20-30% on that deal easily. The actual mechanical report, another situation was actually, it's good to actually have that paid for or looked at, in fact, because you never know what you're going to get yourself into. Water in the transmission and the heads of the engine itself, or again, like I said, paying $100, $150, it goes a long ways. The fact that the mechanic would say, you know what, honestly, you're going to be looking at the transmission in the next few months or down the road, or you're going to be looking at yourself into a situation there. Again, like I said, that $100 just saved you $1,000 in investment there. Wonderful. Remember, guys, check your emotion. Check your emotion.
This is a tough one right here, though.
Again, that's a really good, he said that there. Remember that. When you actually show up at the dealership, I want you to show up tall and strong. Don't show no weakness. And why I say the fact that you show weakness to the dealership, off the bat, the salesperson say, you know what, there's got to be situations going on there. Don't show, of course, you lost your car, or it's your first car, or what it is, or you show some weakness there. What I usually highly recommend is just, again, you got your check, you got your pre-approval envelope here. So there should be no hassle, no nervousness. I highly recommend, of course, go with somebody. Go with somebody, be a team player. Have somebody next to you, kind of encourage you, show you some support. So prevent you from not signing on the dotted line at that moment there too, or coming back to me asking for help. Okay, so we don't want that. Remember that. We're trying to actually get you into the simple one page, then the long sheet with multiple pages there asking for help there. So your team player actually can help you from walking away from that deal, or say, hey, you know what, hey, Ernest, you know what, that's not the deal you need to get. Let's continue looking. You know, they're definitely.
Yeah. Here at First Service, our branch managers and our loan advisors who are working with you on your auto loan, they're your advocate in a way. You know, there's nothing wrong with letting us know here what's going on. You know, you just had an auto wreck, your vehicle was just flooded, you know, something you're trying to buy your child their first car. It's great to go ahead and give us the full details. That way we set you up for success. Now, when you go to the dealership, it's not necessarily to let them know that you're desperate. That's what Raoul is saying. Don't necessarily let them know that you got to have this vehicle today, or else you may not have a way to get to work on Monday. They don't need all that information. Give that information to your loan advisor, your branch manager here at First Service, and we will walk you through everything else.
And that's a good point. He said that. I've actually seen where daughter takes dad and they're arguing at the dealership. Well, Dad, how am I gonna get to work Monday? Dad, I got to turn the rental car in. Or you know what? Hey, honey, actually, so you're gonna take me. The insurance they want the rental car back. Remember, so you want to keep those conversations within you and your partner, of course, or just keep it at home. Like I said, leave the emotions at home and just be patient there. It's gonna actually happen. I promise you. Wonderful. Don't negotiate the actual deal at a whole. Remember, actually, negotiate just the sales price and just the bottom number there. Don't talk about no trade. extra amenities or warranties. In regards to the amenities and warranties, we have it here at the credit union. I'm gonna give you an example. Gap insurance. Why would you want to pay $1,000 at the dealership? Makes no sense. It works the same way. Pay $595 at the credit union. Why would you want to pay $3,000-4,000 warranty? Works the same way our warranty does. To give an example, 1,000. Probably longer and more miles. Again, like I said, that's just nonsense. You don't want to buy it as well as spend too much money. But also as well as your trading. Don't talk about the trade. Remember, actually, on step one, do not talk about no trade. You still actually have the value trade in your folder there. So don't talk about no trade at all. Just the whole transaction, the unit, the drive-out price there. Now, the actual sales price. Now, when you talk about that there, it's just like actual common figure there. It's always been said, 6.25% of the price. So if you find a car for $10,000, just 6.25% of the tax, so $625. In regards to actually any other fees, it should not add up no more than 450 fees. I promise you, it should not add up. If they are, reach out to me and let me know, and I'll get it straight. We'll figure it out, because the fact that there should be like $199, $299. No, none of those fees there. I'll tell you exactly the exact fees as well there too. Again, no warranties, no extra amenities, none of that stuff. You don't want to talk about none of that stuff at all. Just the actual price there.
Pro tip.
Now, if for some reason they're actually giving you a hard time on those fees, say, you know what, thank you. Thank you, dealership. Have a nice day. Grab your stuff and just leave there. Again, like I said, just walk away. You know, be strong.
Never be afraid to walk away.
Definitely.
Thanks for that.
Definitely. The actual itemized breakdown. If you, for some reason, actually, you still feel uncomfortable or you still have some questions, say, you know what? Hey, Ernest, if you don't mind, can you fax over to my loan officer or my centralized salesperson? Here at First Service Credit Union, myself are the top people actually upstairs. Or actually, like I said, you know, you have Gazelle, you have people that are there. Well, they would itemize the actual sheet of stuff, make sure, of course, you actually have the best deal. Definitely. Now, actually, just remember, it's time to seal the deal. Remember, just actually right before you seal the deal, you want to feel comfortable when you seal the deal. Comfortable, again, you're not, just walk away. It's not the time, it's not the moment there. The actual, if you actually right before you're going to sign the deal, and again, they throw you a curveball or whatever it is, they're saying, you know, well, there's a number there, of course, they added on because of the fact that there's something that actually the support center or whatever it has to be added. You know what, say, you know what, thank you, I don't agree, and just walk away there. Again, like I said, just send it to us, we can review it and make sure it's comfortable. Yeah, making the appointment. So of course, you already actually on the email, you already negotiated the sales price, the drive-out price of the vehicle itself. You're happy on that one, on the email itself. So now you want to make an appointment to the actual salesperson. So you want to make the appointment. Why I said you don't want to show where actually he's busy on weekends or he or she, you know, can't grab your attention because, of course, you're already done. All you're there just with your check and you're ready to get in and out within 5 minutes, like the step is supposed to be. So you want to give them a call, shoot them an email, and let them know, hey, you know what? Does Monday work out? This time, block me out. I want to be in and out. Sometimes you should be in and out within 5 minutes. Again, you don't want to go there on a busy day, of course, because of course they have appointments as well too. Reading the actual paper carefully. Again, do not actually walk out with all the paperwork there like this.
Help me.
The fact that you should have actually signed this and got one of these right here. Okay, because you're going to go through all that and say, I need help through actually all the paperwork I did. Of course, you don't understand probably more than 80% of the numbers. And of course, now we're going to get yourself out of the jam there. So again, like I said, walk away if they're trying to get you to sign one of these right here.
Pro tip.
Again, if for some reason, actually, if you do see something on there and it's not supposed to be corrected and they don't want to correct it, so you know what, thank you, I appreciate it very much. Walk away at the last minute, just walk away the deal.
All right. Well, Raoul, before we get into this section here, I think it's time for another pop quiz / poll, huh? What do y'all think?
Let's go for it. Yeah.
All right. So Raoul is a truck man. All right. I won't tell y'all which truck he idolizes, but he is a truck man. So what I want to ask to all our participants in the chat, if you can just quickly answer this question for me, okay? So I've been asking Raoul, which truck company is the king of trucks here in the United States? So the answers are, is it Dodge? Is it GMC? Is it Ford? Is it Nissan? Or is it Toyota? Please put your vote in the chat. We're going to tally them up, and we're just going to do an unscientific result here of who you guys say is the truck king here in the United States, okay? Thank you very much. So we're going to go ahead and jump back into the conversation.
Awesome.
Then Raul's going to let you know which one he believes is the truck king here.
Awesome, Ernest. Awesome. Okay, guys. Now we're ready to sign the check and close the deal at the dealership. Remember, sometimes you don't even reach the finance office. Sometimes they'll come to you at your home, your office, to sign the deals. Just remember, you're going to sign the check over, easy and simple, the numeric amount. Yes, you don't actually have to use the $25,000. You draw out of $19,000, it's good to go. Sign it there, get the numeric amount, get a copy, get your purchase order and your taxes or your title documents. It should be done there, in and out there. Now, right before you do this, remember we talked about the trade, step 1. Step 2, we talked about actually getting clean your research on your trade. Remember, so now, right before you do that, you're gonna say, hey, Ernest, guess what? I got a trade. Because you already negotiate the actual deal. You already negotiate the actual best price on the deal.
So throw them a curveball now.
Throw them a curveball and say, I got a trade out on the parking lot there. You don't mind, can you give me a new one with a trade in as well there too? So you already actually have your Manhunt report. You got several reports in regards to the value of trade there too. Now, doing that as well, you can cut them off guard because now they can't go back on their word on the actual unit negotiating the sales price. Now it's going to be on a curveball on the actual trade in. Again, like I said, you already got the value, so you say, you know what, hey, give them a little leverage there. Give them $500 or $1,000 off the actual the report itself there. Of course, you know, hey, you're going to save them on taxes no matter what on your trade because you already paid tax on your trade. So you're going to see there's going to be a tax saving there as well there too. So throw them a curveball and say, you know what, I got a trade right at the last minute. Don't talk about no trade at all. So right before you're about to close the deal.
So introduce the trade at the end, right before you close the deal.
Exactly. Right before you close the deal. And guess what? Guys, once you sign the check over, get your documents, got your keys, and congratulations. You're in and out. You got you. It's the best deal.
All right, wonderful. So guys, we have come to the Q&A aspect of our presentation. And we've seen the chat's been busy. We're tallying up the polls. Wow. So as we tally it up, I guess Raoul is going to now reveal to us which vehicle he believes, which truck maker he believes is the best. What's your answer, Raoul?
I've been a Chevy person all my life.
Okay.
So all my life I've been a Chevy. So if you select a Chevy, you're on the approved. Congratulations. Come to your nearest Chevy.
So if you're buying a Chevy, Raoul is letting you know he's going all out. But also if you're buying a Ford or any other truck vehicle, we are going to take care of you either way. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the group chat questions. Eileen is our site group chat moderator, and she's going to read some of the questions. We're going to try to get to as many of them as we can. There's no such thing as a dumb question, right? As they used to tell me in school, the dumb questions are the ones that you don't ask. So please, by all means, ask whatever questions may come up or clarifications on anything that we did not talk about earlier. So let's get to it. Thank you, Eileen.
All right, so our first question was sent to us before the webinar. Do you have a different approach if you want to pay cash for a car?
Paying cash for a car actually works the same way there too. So like again, you can send an email. Remember, on the email it says, I'll be there with my cash on hand. That's just the same way there too, cash on hand. The same approach that we did, that's a really good question. You're gonna take the step all the way as well. Visit 5 dealerships, email communication, do your research. If you have a trade or not, work it at the end, the same way there too, just a cash on hand.
And I would add, you know, paying cash is great, but what's the greatest asset you have? Your cash, right? Why not hold on to your cash or a significant amount of it and let the credit union, finance the deal for you? Worst case scenario, you finance the deal for a couple of months and then use that cash, you know, take care of your emergencies. And then if you still have it, you still don't need it for emergencies, then pay off the vehicle, right? That's
Exactly.
another way to go. That way you hold on.
And that's a really good point that Ernest said that too. We're going back into your credit rating there too. Actually, when we do step 1. Again, finance just a little bit of it. You know, you want to actually put majority of it down, but you want to actually maintain at least some kind of active credit there too back there. Because when you actually have inactive credit for so long, your score starts dropping. So when you really need to apply for a credit, your score is low, and because you have no active credit. So you want to kind of keep something active there and keep your score as high as possible. But so just keep it, you know, a small loan or something.
Cash is king, they say.
Our next question came from a number of people in the chat asked about getting a recording. And yes, we will send a link to the recording after the webinar ends. We'll send that in the next few days.
And also too, like I said, I mean, if you email or communicate to us, or exactly, if you need any answer to your questions there in regards to the PowerPoint or the presentation, we'd be glad to send it to you, definitely.
And our contact information will be shared as well. Go ahead, Eileen.
And then our next question is, can you talk more about the survey, the CSI survey? A couple people asked that, Linda and Samika.
That's a really good question. The CSI survey, what it is about it actually, these dealerships is there, when the manufacturer, okay, so what they do is, let's just draw a circle, okay? You actually have the manufacturer, say Chevy. You actually have so many franchise dealerships around the actual country, okay? So this manufacturer says, okay, fine, is they're going to point and select the demand of Chevys to these franchise dealerships, but they're going to send their product to the dealerships who actually have the best CSI survey, the customer survey, scoring. So the higher their number, they're going to say, well, hold on, ABC's dealership over here in Rosamond, Texas, hey, they have a pretty good survey. Why should I be sending my units over here is if they're actually having a bad comments in regards to their finance or how they were treated, the salesperson was unprofessional. No. I want my product to be sold over here at this dealership that actually has high producing, actually, 100 scores. They're real nice from the beginning to the end. In fact, that's their product, that's their name. So they want to actually keep it as high as possible. The other part of it actually is the higher the score, the better their bonus. The lower the score, it kind of hurts their bonus overall for the dealership there. That's a really good question.
And then the next question is, can you touch on trade-ins again? And then, for example, this person said, Michelle said, I have a 2017 Sentra owing $13,000 looking to get a new 2020 Honda Accord.
That's a good question. Actually, like Ernest said, you're going to actually have my email communication. So forward me the email, forward me your VIN number and your mouse. And of course, and the condition. What would you think from a scale of 1 or 5? 5 being such an amazing car, still not a scratch, not a dent, perfect condition. But 1 being actually say, has some power damage and this next that. I want to give you actually what's called a manhunt report. It gives you a value of your car. Okay, that's the value of your car. Say it gives you, say, 15,000. That's the number, of course, you want to try to aim for. If it's more than they give you, hey, guess what? Keep your mouth closed. Say, thank you, I'll take the most. In regards to if you give you less, just remember, you don't want to go less than no more than 5, say 4, or say 1,000 off the price it's out there. So you already got the actual value of your car there. So that's something, of course, you're going to work on. You're going to hold that. Now, don't tell nobody about your trade at all, in the dealership at all, or where we're going to negotiate there. You're going to actually negotiate for that 2020 Nissan you're looking for. You're going to say you're going to work all your powers, all your magic to get the bottom sales price, okay? Just the sales price, tax on license. That trade-in, that report that you actually have from us, and of course you have your check, again, like we said earlier, is when you visit Nissan, when you're about to sign the deal, right there and then, that check, right before you sign that check, say, hey, John, I apologize. You know what? I got a trade-in. It's outside in the parking lot. I want to trade in a 17 for my 20. Because guess what? Now you actually threw a curveball and you got them thinking, oh, wow, now we have a trade-in. You're going to save on some sales tax there as well. Remember, you already paid taxes on the 17 when you first bought it, and you're going to actually, why should you have to pay full tax on the 20? So they're going to give you a discount. You're only going to pay the taxes of the difference, whatever you're paying for. That's the only thing you're going to be taxed for, the difference, not the whole, because you already paid tax over here, so you're going to save over here on the new one. That's a good question there too. Again, like my email is there. Just email me, and of course we can actually see exactly more details in your trade as well. Definitely. Good question.
And then Dave Coles asked, are extended warranties a good deal?
Warranties in regards to ours, the dealership. Now ours works probably even better, okay? And there's several ways, there are reasons why I say that. Fact that 1 is actually sometimes, not always, they're gonna be longer, and actually the miles will be longer, and they're gonna be about 3 times cheaper. They work the same way as the actual dealership. But the only dealership, sometimes I see them no more than 5, 6 years. and they're just priced 3-4 times more. You know, of course, they cost more, as well as the miles. Sometimes they only go up to like 100,000 miles. I've never seen one for 125. You'll actually see them for 75, 100. You'll see them at a certain grade level. It'd be like, you know, deductible of 200 with the silver grade level, meaning, of course, that there's certain things that they won't cover there too. I've seen a lot where people have this long sheet here, and actually it doesn't say the warranty covers there. Ours actually, again, like I said, it tells you your warranty, your price, your months, of course, your miles, and what grade level is it? Is it platinum? Is it silver? Is it whatever it is? But again, like I said, it works the best as well there too. And actually, you have more benefits and features on the actual warranty itself. Good question there too. You can actually always send the actual the VIN number and the miles, and we can send you the coverage of the warranty. You can compare ours to theirs. We definitely will help you with that.
And with the cost of repairs today, it's better to, what's the old line about insurance? It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. With all the computers that a lot of vehicles are coming with now, some of those repairs, if you don't have an extended warranty or warranty period, you're going to come out of pocket significantly to pay for yourself.
And that's a good question there too. We actually have a template, of course, that tells you whatever year, whatever model, and we actually have a template from 2020. So in the last 10 months or so, we know exactly what the average cost is for that particular vehicle. It can be a Chevy, or LT, whatever it is, and whatever the engine type. It'll tell you exactly this is the average cost of that warranty there too. So it's worth it overall.
And then our next question is, if I get the choice of 0% financing or a cash rebate on the vehicle, which should I choose?
That's a really good question there. You want to compare apples with apples. So remember, on a 0%, you're losing all your actually rebates, your cash backs, your incentive. You're losing the whole thing there too. Like I said, a common good score there at a credit, you're looking at probably around, say, 2%, 2.9%, or even in the low threes there. You want to compare apples to apples there too. So we can kind of put you exactly, you want to lose all your 10, 15,000 rebates and pay full price, or you want to get a discount and get the 2.99 and 3.49 rate and look at the bottom number and say, well, over here, I'm going to be still paying the 0%, say 35,000, but with the actual rebates and discounts, I'm only paying 32. So honestly, I want to pay cheaper, so I'll take the 32. So sometimes the rate's even better. 0%, if they honor it, the whole package with a discount, you win some, you lose some. And that's a good option there too. You want to make sure compare apples to apples, and that's what we're there for too. Good question.
Our next question is, I have a 2015 Subaru. I still owe $15,000 left. Don't you add that price to the new purchase?
Good question there too. Now the actual
difference.
Yeah, you only. I'm assuming actually the way it works. Okay, is say for instance the balance itself. Yes, it does carry over, but remember you actually have a trade-in allowance. So whatever they're giving you for. So if they're giving you say 10,000, really and truly you're carrying over the actual difference to what you're not carrying over. But remember, actually on the new one, you actually have, remember, in this month, you're having double digits incentives and cash backs. So the actual rebates and the incentive is actually taking over the negative equity that you're carrying over there too. Remember, you actually have your Manhattan report in here. So you're trying to carry as little as possible, but you're actually, your cash back, your incentives, and your rebates is taking over the actual negative equity, and you're still put into a good position loan. Good question. Real good question.
And then our next question is, and this is probably a specific question you may not be able to answer, but is CarPro USA VIP Pass a good way to go?
I never actually heard of the actual that one before, but I'll look into it. You say it's CarPro USA VIP, right? Yeah, so I'll look into it, and actually, and what I'll do is if you don't mind, shoot me an email, and we can definitely talk about that. That's a really good question. And remember, actually, also too, there's a lot of now new online because, like Ernest said, because of the COVID, there's a lot of online shopping service going on. That's a new deal, the new service going on. So that's I'll look into it. Yes, sir. Definitely good question.
On top of Room and Carvana and
Yes.
dealerships are bringing a curbside, right? They're
Yeah.
bringing a vehicle curbside.
Speaking of
to your home.
Carvana, like I said, actually, they only have 1 or 2 rep on the actual, on their lots there, actually. I mean, I'm saying, so when you start seeing these places, they only have 1 or 2 persons working there too. So again, like I said, they may be somebody remotely working from home in regards to these websites there. Good question.
And our next question is from Perla Cardenas, who asked, can you explain how gap insurance works if your vehicle was stolen within 8 months of paying the gap insurance?
And that's a good question there too. The way gap works actually is, give an example. Gap actually pays off the difference what your insurance doesn't pay off. Okay, so it's not 100% payoff if you're put in a situation like, for instance, like this, where they oversell everything, they put all these products on there, and you're put into a bad position. A deal like this, Gap, you're going to probably still be in a bad situation. That's where our job is to help you. Okay, so we know, of course, you're going to be put in a good situation. So 99.9% chance that, of course, when we actually structure the loan, we're structuring the loan to make sure, of course, that when you get Gap, you're still covered there as well there too. And we have a specialized person here that actually has many, many years experience in Gap. So we relay the information in regards to Gap. So the moment you find out your car is total loss, unfortunately, they're not going to look for it or just been flooded out. Immediately, your insurance will contact us, and we actually start the processing and getting you actually getting you into a new vehicle. You'll contact us. We'll get you a new check there. You don't have to worry about the actual other vehicles because we know, of course, that you're put into a good loan at the beginning. We know, of course, that the Gap is going to actually help you pay off the actual loan itself here, and you're not put into a bad loan for help.
And that's important what Raoul mentioned. Here at First Service, we offer Gap, we offer extended warranty, as well as additional protections as well. A lot of the same items that the dealership will try to, quote unquote, upsell you on, we offer that as well. And you get additional incentives from the credit union for adding these additional products and services because we're invested in it as well as you are. So we want to make sure the asset is fully protected, fully covered, so that it's easier for you should any unforeseen situations happen. We live in Texas. Hurricane Harvey was absolutely unexpected for many people, but because they had Gap insurance and with the credit union, we helped with the filing of the paperwork. So when you get some of these items through First Service, when it now comes time for you to file a claim or so, we assist in that process.
And that was a good question you asked as well, too. Actual loans that are put in at the dealership, you finance here in a bad situation. Actually, what actually happens is there was a study that 75% of those loans actually still have an unpaid balance when you do finance through the Gap insurance at the dealership. So they're saying 75% of those loans, you still have a balance. Now, here what does, of course, at the beginning, step one, you did your financing, of course, we did your planning. Here, you already know that you're going to be put in a good situation with the fact that because step two, you did your research and your homework. And then step three, you're going to seal the deal because of the fact that when we actually close the deal, we're going to help you make sure that Gap is covering the full cost of it before actually you put into a good loan there.
So our next question is from John, who asked, if I go with the dealers or manufacturer's 0% financing offer, can I still come to First Service to get Gap insurance and extended warranty?
Good question. The extended warranty, yes, you can. But the actual Gap, unfortunately, is only covered if the loan is actually with First Service Credit. But the warranty itself, yes, you sure can. And actually, we can actually finance it through options we have. Or if you like, you can still pay cash for it and you can still get a good deal warranty. Yes, that's a really good question.
And that ties into Erwin Hanksley's question of, did I understand that FSCU will offer an extended warranty on my existing vehicle? Yes, sounds like that is correct.
That is correct. Again, just email me your VIN number, your miles, and of course, we'll research it and I'll communicate you your options and your warranty coverage. Again, like I said, you can pre-select it. And like we said earlier, we can actually, we can finance it here or you can just pay cash, for it. Yeah, definitely. Good question.
And then also a question from Esperonica. Do you all assist with leasing as well?
Unfortunately, you don't, but we do assist lease buyouts. But again, we don't do leasing. We do actually do lease buyouts. If you got yourself into a lease, you say, I regret it, which I've done plenty of those before, no worries. We can do a lease buyout for you as well.
And then our next question is from Erwin again. How and when do I negotiate amenities like loaner cars, software updates, extended warranties, etc.?
What the question?
How and when do I negotiate amenities like loaner cars, software updates, extended warranties, etc.?
Okay, that's additional, if they want additional services on the vehicle, and they actually want to get it from the dealership, I assume, at what point do they
Yes, like
the
additional software
the
updates for the
upgrades.
vehicle.
upgrades?
Oh, well, you can do that actually at any time there too. The fact that, of course, yes, towards the end of the actual, the deal itself is the best time. But of course, you want to see pricing of it itself, to see if it's worth it or it's not worth it. But in regards, yes, you can do it towards the end of the deal.
And you would also recommend they do that separately, like you said,
Exactly.
negotiate certain aspects of your deal
Exactly.
separately. That could be another quote unquote curveball situation.
Yeah,
Once you-
exactly. So you can actually always say, of course, fine, you know what, hey, I know somebody does a navigation or upgrade or whatever it is, the wheels here, actually, I'm looking on the website, I'm getting a price here. Why are you charging me for this? Or is it too much there? You can say, you know what, hey, you throw the 10 on there for $199, I'll take it. Well, I ain't gonna pay $599 for 10, or I'm gonna pay such and such for this for $1,000. I'll give you $500 for the deal. Yeah, definitely. Good question.
And then our next question is, do you guys do refinance as well?
Good
do,
question.
do we
Yes.
do refinance, Raoul? Do we?
All day long.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, like I said, we'll be glad to. If you got yourself into a bad situation and you need help because you need a refinance, yes, we can. And I do plenty of them. Just bring me the paperwork you got from the dealership with your long sheet that need help. We'll look at it. I'll study it. I'll actually detail it, and of course, and then we'll look at sometimes. We'll look at it as well as actually maybe actually helping you get some of the stuff off of your loan that you bought. And of course, we'll submit, the request to the dealership. And then of course, you want to get our products at a cheaper cost and pay overall. But yes, we can actually help you and put you in a better situation.
And we actually have an incentive for refinancing with us as well, correct?
That is correct there, actually. Well, the incentive itself right now, of course, we'll give you as far as 60 days your first payment as well there too. Yeah, definitely. Good question. Good question.
And then our next question is from Gertrude, who asked, when is a good time to let the dealer know you may want to add a down payment to ensure that your payments are low?
Right at the end. Right at the end. Again, you're going to say, you know what? Thanks for the final price. Of course, here's my down payment. Sometimes you don't actually tell the dealership. You can just let us know there too. Exactly. You're going to write the check in full there. And of course, make it easy and simple and say, you know what? You can give us a down payment. But good question there. At the end. Don't talk about no trading, no down payment, no amenities, none of that stuff, not until the end. Because what you're trying to do is you're negotiating the price, the bottom price of that sales plus your tax on license. Remember we said the bottom price plus the actual tax on license.
And if you're a member of First Service, you can actually put that down payment into your First Service account. If it's a scenario where you're paying with the auto draft check, hopefully you're taking that. We already cover that in that aspect. If it's a situation where we're doing drafting instructions to the dealership, we'll include your down payment as well, okay?
Exactly.
With the final amount that we send to a dealership. And the reason why I recommend this is because we've all heard horror stories of individuals who gave their down payment to a particular dealership, decided to buy from another dealership, and the dealership that they gave the down payment to initially decided to keep it, said that they can keep it, said they couldn't sell that vehicle to somebody else, and use that as the reason why they've now keeping your down payment. But if you have that with First Service, we'll make sure we get it to a dealership that you end up purchasing the vehicle from.
And that's a good point there too. Like I said, you're looking for a pre-approved for no more than 25, but you know you want to finance 20. You can put the 5,000 in a savings while you're earning interest on your savings account. And of course, like I said, the check's good for 60 days. So you've already earned interest on your 5,000 in those 2 months. You're about to write a check. Again, you can write it for the full amount, but when the check comes to us, or when we're closing a deal, you're going to say, hey, Raoul, I wrote it for the 25, but guess what? I only want to finance 20. So we're only going to finance the amount you want to finance as well. So on both ends, you win.
Wonderful. Any more questions, Eileen?
We have 3 more questions.
All right.
One from Linda K. Arnold, who asks,
We'll keep it going.
will they take a Toyota trade-in if you want to buy a Subaru?
Of course, 100%. The brand is not the actual question. Actually, what it is how you actually negotiate it. Remember, wait to the trade-in till the end. Again, like I said, just say, hey, guess what? If I write this check here, which I'm about to do, Grab my Subaru, you don't mind. I know actually I like the Toyota, but there's a Subaru out there I want to actually I want to finance. Remember, every franchise dealership has all kinds of models of cars there on the used car lot, and definitely they'll be glad to take it.
Great question.
Good question.
And our next question is, can you trade in a vehicle in someone else's name with a balance due on it?
Good question. Yes, you can. The way it works actually is when you do that trade-in, actually is the owner of the loan itself, the vehicle, they have to be presented with their Texas driver license, and as well as they're going to sign over what's called a title transfer form. 130U is the exact form there too. So they're going to sign this form and then they can release it. It always happens. You can. Yes, positive. Good question.
And then one comment that was missed from earlier, Erwin commented that dealers generally offer a discount for financing through GMC Finance. How can First Service, what does First Service do in terms of that?
That's a good question. The most you're ever going to see is probably $1,000. That's the most you're ever going to see. 500, 1,000. Right now I'm seeing 500, 750. That's the most you're going to see financed through the actual finance dealers or the finance office there. But remember, they're going to finance you through what's called the actual common buyback rate, which is probably be, even if you have good credit, you're going to be probably signing, right now I'm doing 6.99 refinances because they took the actual finance, of course, not knowing, of course, it was an easy process. But yeah, sometimes it's just it's more of a headache there. But overall, like I said, before doing that, send me the actual overall, the term, we can look at it and make sure, of course, is it a good deal or not? Definitely good question.
And just to sum up, we have one last question from Michelle, who asks, so from what I understand, First Service works with the buyer the entire process of buying a new or used vehicle?
Absolutely.
That is correct there too. Actually, we do not let you go. We're not like any other bank that, of course, that you'll get a check like this and you say, you know what, or you won't even get a check. You'll get a pre-approval letter and you're on your own. No, not at all. That's a really good question. We work for you from the first minute you walk in my office to the last minute you check out there. Make sure, of course, you actually have the red carpet service. That's how we work.
Raoul is not going to brag on him, but I'm going to brag on Raoul and some of our other loan advisors. We absolutely will be with you throughout the process of you purchasing your vehicle, because like I said, we're invested as well. We want to make sure it's a great deal for you and it's a great deal for us. Not only that, we will, and I've seen Raoul do it and many other loan advisors here, we will actually take that vehicle that you're looking at, same trim models, find you 3 dealerships in the area that has that same vehicle for a better price, okay? Because it's a better deal for you. Why would you pay more for it when you can just drive down the street, or in some instance, take a small 3-hour vacation and get it significantly less? We want to make sure, and that's the type of work that we're willing to do for you. I've also seen this gentleman here and many others drive. Now, he's not going to always do this all the time, but he will drive an auto draft check or whatever to the dealership to make sure the individual gets their vehicle or gets their deal done. That's the level of service that we're willing to go to. We not only meet you at where you want us to, but oftentimes we look to exceed your expectations of our financial institution. Okay, so it's not a gimmick; it's the truth. I've seen it happen, and we've all done it, right?
Yeah, it's a good question there too. Like I said, not too long ago, there was a woman she was actually buying a car through Hertz, 45 and Almeda, which is close to the Beltway going out towards south. It was probably about an hour and 20-minute drive for me. So guys, like I said, got my vehicle, I kind of rescheduled my appointments and drove down there to the fact that, because again, remember, they're under bankruptcy. So they're moving deals in and out in minutes. When I showed up to that dealership, I think I was showing up to, it felt like a Renaissance festival. It was just packed house. So they're getting deals in and out. And they didn't take the check here, but they took a check itself. So I drove down there and gave her the check, and she got a really good deal overall for her and for us as well too. We're protected the actual loan itself. On the other question about gap, remember, so she was well protected on gap as well there too.
Wonderful. And that's the level of service you get from First Service all around at all our branches. Always. We have one more question that just came in. Come on, we're going to keep this party going as long as y'all want to stay.
I'm here.
So no problem.
That's it.
All right, so we have 2 more questions actually.
Right.
So Derek asked, what are new car rates now? And if the dealership is offering 0%, then should you take that?
That's a really good question there too. Car rates are going, like I said, right now, they're going as probably in the high 2s to the mid 3s on good credit. Or like I said, it's based on your credit too. But comparing the actual 0% to our rate there, again, So remember, we did your finances, and of course, you did your pre-approval at the beginning. So now, if you take the 0% from the dealership, they're going to take away all your incentives, your cash backs. They're gonna throw it back into the actual sale of the deal. So you're gonna lose that. So you're gonna be losing some serious rebates and cash backs incentives for your deal. So we want to compare apples to apples, and that's my job. Again, we win some and we lose some, but actually I did my best to earn your business. But remember, you're always gonna come back and say, Raoul, thank you for your help, your honesty, and sometimes, hey, I win and lose. But remember, you're always gonna come back to me. And again, we're gonna look overall and see exactly, hey, you know what? Hey, the 0% is not the best offer. The 3.14 is the best offer on the loan itself there. Good question.
And then one more question from Jane. Raoul, which branch are you from?
I'm actually at the actual Northwood location off the Beltway between 249 and 290. Actually, I would say the actual exit is the West Road exit, Fallbrook exit. Yes, ma'am.
And that was our former corporate office. So if y'all used to come to our former corporate office location, that's the branch that Raoul is the branch manager at, okay?
Yep.
So if we don't have any more questions, I'm gonna real quickly, before we wrap up, give the tally of the unofficial poll that we took earlier in regards to who is the truck king. So we had 3 people say GMC, all right? We had 15 people say the one that I agree with, Ford, yeah. We had 1 person say Toyota, and we also had 1 person say Chevy. So I'm sorry, brother. Your vehicle is in the 1%.
Yeah, I know. But remember, always come to us. We're willing to help you guys.
No worries. But no matter what it is that you're looking to drive, we will help you finance it. We will help you get a great deal. Also remember that first service, we not only will finance your vehicle, but we will take a look at your whole financial goals that you have. We have financial advisors at our disposal. Don't forget your direct deposits that come to your first service account typically shows up a day or 2 earlier. Okay, so our branch managers, our loan advisors are all well-talented individuals that will help you to have the best financial life that you can. Okay, once again, my name is Ernest Orieh. Raoul Cortes here with me. We want to thank y'all so much for spending an hour and 10 minutes of your time with us today. We truly enjoyed it. This is something that we look to bring to you as often as we can, just to continue to get that best information out there to you, and make sure you're well informed as you go on about making your financial decisions. Okay, thank you all so much for tuning in. Email us and just reach out to us with any questions or concerns that you may have. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.